Hello, my friends. I'm Matt Weinstein, aka Glass of Weinstein, and welcome back to Make It Monday with Bob's Red Mill. For today's recipe, I was so inspired by the Lunar New Year and all of the amazing AAPI content creators out there, but dumplings are not something that's naturally gluten-free, so I'm gonna be doing my gluten-free take on it so we can all enjoy it together. So grab a glass of Weinstein and let's get cooking. So let's get started with our filling. I'm going to be doing a pork filling, but you can fill your dumplings with anything you'd like. So get your package open and get that in there. And to this, I'm gonna add a lot of fresh herbs. I've got a bunch of scallions. And just cut them up pretty fine. I want the greens and the whites. This is gonna add obviously good flavor, but some nice crunch and texture as well. I want the rubber band in there. So get your green onions or scallions in there. You can save these buds and regrow them later. Everybody in. And then I'm gonna do a nice bushel of some fresh cilantro as well. Do the same thing, just a nice chop. It's super perfumey and aromatic. Get that right in there. Let's see what else I've got. Next up, I'm gonna grate some ginger right in here. That's gonna give it a really good depth, a flavor, a little bit of a bite too. Ginger and scallion work really, really nicely with each other, is what I've learned from my experimenting. So get that all grated in there. I've got our ginger in there. I think I did a great job. I'm gonna add just a splash of the following things. I've got some rice vinegar, add a little tanginess, a little acid and brightness, some gluten-free soy sauce, nice umami, and of course some salt. We're gonna add a little bit of sesame oil right in. I love the smell and the taste of that. For a little more umami, I've got a splash of some fish sauce. This is one of my favorite things to work with. And then, just a little bit of some garlic chili sauce, or chili paste. And if you like it super spicy, feel free to add a really large amount. I'm just gonna be a little cautious with that. And then we're gonna give it all a mix together. It already smells insane in here. And then we're just gonna let this all sit together and go to room temperature on the counter. That way all of the flavors can really develop and get to know each other, and we'll start working on our dough. Let's start talking about our dough. We're gonna be using a few different Bob's Red Mill products. We're gonna be using some sweet white rice flour. We're going to be using 3/4 of a cup of that. There's one. There's two. And there's three. And to that, love that sound, 1/4 cup of tapioca flour or tapioca starch. Everybody together. And to that, 1 teaspoon of our binder, our xanthan gum. In there. And we're gonna give it a simple little whiskey whisk together until everything is nicely combined. While I was recipe testing these ingredients, I was reminded of this place that I used to go to in the city that had a dedicated gluten-free Chinese menu, and they had the best gluten-free dumplings. It since has closed, and I'm so sad, but when I was trying this recipe out, the texture and the taste was so similar to that, so I feel really excited to share this with you. So I've got all of my dry ingredients mixed together. To that, I've got 6 tablespoons of just some warm water. It really is that simple, 4 ingredients. And we're gonna start whisking it together, and then we're just gonna get our hands in there because it's gonna get a little sticky, a little tacky. We're gonna get everything getting to know each other. All right, let's get a little bit messy. Just start really pushing and pressing and mixing everything together. The dough will come together in just a minute. Just gotta be a little patient with it. Okay, our dough is nicely formed and pliable. The next part is really to just play with your food. You wanna really knead the dough together for a few minutes. That way all of the ingredients can really activate their starchiness and their chewiness. The combination of the tapioca and the sweet white rice flour is gonna be nice and chewy and tender when we cook them up. So just play with it, roll it out, squish it, just be a kid in the kitchen again, and maybe do this for like 5 to 6 minutes. And then we'll start rolling out our dough. I've been working the dough for a few minutes. I'm gonna show you what to do next. You're gonna pinch and press until you get a sort of disc shape. And then using your thumb, you're gonna sort of poke through it, almost make like a donut or a bagel shape, and then press and squeeze outward. This seems like a funny thing to do, but this is a great way to make sure we're kneading our dough, but also to get it into the width and equal shape that we want it to be a little bit later. You'll see what I mean. So just keep going. And then you're gonna find a spot to break it off. And this will just be an easy way for us to roll out our balls of dough when we're ready to press them out. So I'm calling in some backup. I'm gonna be using my tortilla press just because these don't have gluten. I just wanted something that was just a little bit sturdier to help me get nice equal sized dumpling wrappers. So I've got it all here. I'm gonna get it greased up just because they might need a little bit of extra help so they don't stick. Keeping my wet paper towel on here, rip off maybe about 1 inch to 1.5 inches and then cover it up so they don't dry out. Roll it into a ball. Get it onto your tortilla press, or if you want to roll them out by hand, by all means, please do so. Press, give it maybe one last flip, press, and then get it into some wet paper towel so it doesn't dry, and we'll just keep doing that process. All right, the fun part. Get your little wrappers that we made. I'm gonna be using my chopsticks to help fill my dumplings up. We're looking for about a teaspoon, give or take, of filling. Get that right into the middle. From there, I'm gonna press from the top all the way down to the sides till it seals up. And then, I'm not a master at this, but you wanna just press and crimp together just until it looks a little bit cute, like that. And I'm gonna be doing a nice flat bottomed surface. And then wet paper towels are our best friend for this. As soon as you've rolled them, get them under some wet paper towel, and we're just gonna keep doing this process. Our last one, get your filling in there. Try not to overstuff them. Press, 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 crimp, crimp, crimp. And then pinch the little edges together. All right. Next up is to get our pan nice and preheated. Look how cute these are. All right, I'm gonna get a combination of some avocado and sesame oil into my pan. The avocado oil has a higher burning temperature or smoking point, and then the sesame oil adds some nice flavor. So give that a zhuzh around. The sesame oil gets super aromatic the second it hits the hot pan. And here's what we're gonna do. Come a little closer. Got our flat side into the oil. It's immediately gonna start to crisp up and sizzle. That is the sound that you want. I think we can squeeze all of these in here if I'm smart and methodical about it. I've done it before. We're gonna get a nice crunchy bottom to these. And then we're gonna finish them off by steaming them a little bit. I'll show you. So let those go in the oil until they crisp up a bit. I'm gonna lower my heat just temporarily. This next part you wanna kind of do in one fell swoop. They've been crisping up, we're gonna start the steaming process. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my water in and then immediately cover it with the lid. You wanna be careful because we are adding water into hot oil. So make sure your lid is ready to go. Dump the water, cover immediately. They might pop a little bit, that's totally fine. Just moderate your heat and let these steam for about 5 minutes. So we've been steaming for a few minutes. I'm gonna take my lid off. There's gonna be some residual water in here. We're just gonna let the pan naturally cook it off. The oil that's still in there is going to remain and just finish crisping up our dumplings. Holy moly. The aromas alone, I am so excited to share this with you. All right, let's get in there, dip it into our sauce, really just get it drenched, honestly. The dough really locks in the juices, so you might get like a burst of everything. Let's get. Oh my goodness. You've got to give this a try. There you have it. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining me for Make It Monday with Bob's Red Mill. Once again, I'm Matt Weinstein, aka Glass of Weinstein. If you like this gluten-free recipe, you can follow me here on Instagram, as well as my TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and on my website, glassofweinstein.com. To all of you observing the Lunar New Year, I hope it's a sweet and prosperous one. Cheers, my friends.